Welcome to another episode of the Helpside Basketball Show. Today we have another special guest. Her name is Kim Pierre-Louis. How are you doing, Kim?
I'm doing good, boss. I miss you.
Yeah, I know. Likewise. I can't wait for you to come back.
I know. I don't know when I'll be back, but actually
I know.
probably in September. But yeah, we'll see. I'll be getting a workout in the Capital Course. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. You grew up in Ottawa. Like many other elite hoopers, you played multiple sports growing up. You did track, you did flag football, you did wrestling. You actually won a national capital title in your weight class for wrestling. When did you start specializing in basketball?
I would say when I was 12 years old, I went to a basketball camp, the Celtics basketball camp at the time. I don't know if it still exists. Probably not. With it was over at what's the name of the school?
Same,
On
same.
Santa Hall. Yeah. And honestly, that's when I got inspired. I used to go with my brothers. And I used to take the bus like an hour just to get there, an hour and a half just to get there every day. And like that's when I really fell in love with the game and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Well, I mean, that was so you said your brothers kind of exposed you to the sport?
Yeah, so I kind of started off playing basketball with my brothers and my cousins just outside, street
Hmm.
ball, just for fun. I just wanted to, play with the boys. And but I'm the one who actually took it seriously, going to the camps and then realizing that hey, like I could like potentially go to WNBA, could potentially, go to university, get my scholarships paid for, get my school paid for. So,
Hmm.
after that I definitely started taking it seriously and I just fell in love with the game from then on.
And so you were one of the original members of the Ottawa Nationals Jewels program. Uh,
hmm
back when there was no prep school hype, no crazy exposure opportunities around women's basketball, what did you do to separate yourself to now attract D1 interest?
I think for me, I just had like the love of the game and I realized that my opportunity, like I didn't grow up with a whole lot of money. My parents wouldn't be able to afford my university, so I realized that if I could just get a scholarship, I could just pay for my school, and that was the big thing for me. Yeah, like honestly, like I just wanted to be able to provide for myself and my future.
Hmm. And you saw basketball as an opportunity to do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so did you do a lot of workouts or was it purely on your own, just loving the game? Like, did you have a trainer? Did you have a specific coach that kind of showed you the ropes? Like, how did you start to separate yourself from other teammates even?
Yeah, for me, like I just would work on some moves that I would consider to be unguardable. Like I knew that like if I could like do a turnaround spin a fadeaway shot, no one could block it, you know?
Mhm,
So I would spend hours and hours on end just working on that one move, just
mhm,
spamming it. And just working on my post move, just working on my turnaround, my jumpers, my layups. I would work on my layups endlessly. And
mhm,
yeah, I just knew that if I just could be consistent with those shots and I'd be able to get, a good amount of points a game and definitely cement my value on a team.
and so you end up choosing UMass, University of
Yeah.
Massachusetts. What attracted you to that school? Was it the coaching style? Was it the style of play? Was there something else?
I think for me, like the biggest thing was we had a Canadian coach in Jen McCauley, and she actually was from Ottawa as well. And
Mhm,
so it was really cool just getting to talk to her, knowing that UMass was only 7 hours away. I wasn't too far away from home. My family could come visit. I could go
mhm,
home. Yeah, I'd never been away from home for that
mhm.
long in my life. So I think it was really attractive to me to be somewhere that was kind of familiar, but also, having that college experience.
Mhm. And so did you have other opportunities for D1 programs, or was it, like, just all UMass all day long?
Yeah, I had some other offers for sure. I had Duquesne, I had like a team in San Diego interested. Bowling Green was recruiting me.
Mhm.
But yeah, those just are pretty far, from home, pretty far from Ottawa. So Yeah, UMass was definitely the best for me. I went on a visit, and I just loved it. You know, for me, it
Mhm.
was like one and done on my visit. I was like, "Yep, coming here."
So you did one visit,
Yeah, one visit.
and that's it.
That's it.
You're
I was
sold.
sold. Yeah.
So I hear they have, like, incredible amenities at UMass. I think the food is something like top 5 or, what
Yeah,
was it like
so
living on
UMass
campus?
yeah, I think that they're actually number 1, I think, right now. I think they were, like, top 2, but or, like, number 1 at some point, but they're, like, number 1 or 2 in the nation in dining.
Mm,
So the food was exceptional, like, that was a really, really helpful for me because I was able to lose a lot of weight while I was at UMass. I probably lost close to 50, 60 pounds while I was at
wow,
UMass.
wow,
Just, like yeah, just eating just finding out what works for me when it comes to my diet, finding out what nutrition is, you know, how to eat as an athlete, and,
mhm,
the food was great at the same time, so it really made it a lot easier. They would even have,
and
like on Halloween, they would have, like, lobster, like,
wow,
full-on lobster, like, every Halloween, so, yeah, it was honestly
o
so sick,
o
it was awesome, yeah.
okay, so that's not normal.
Throughout level, like, there'd be different spots on campus where you can get, like, specific items, you know, and, like, you could literally go on a food crawl on the campus, it's that great, it's that amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you ended up having a great career at UMass. You were one of the 16 players in program history to score at least 1,000 points and 500 rebounds. You were named A10 All Conference, Most Valuable Player in your senior year, Most Improved Player in your senior year. The one thing that I know about you is that you're always working on your game. Is there anything specifically that you did to really start to hone your skills in your final year that gave you all those accolades?
Definitely just working on my body. My senior year, we got to have the men's, I think, strength and conditioning coach, Richard Hogan. He had worked with like some really top athletes, really top programs, including Derrick Rose. And he decided to just take on the women's team for my senior year that summer.
Mhm,
And I spent like I didn't even go home that summer. Like, you know how you can go home for like a month? I just spent the entire summer in the gym, and he really helped me just get my body right, get my body to like the next level. Like I was in the best shape of my life. Like
mhm,
I'm over here like damn near I'm like dunking a ball. Like, you know, I could dunk it off a log. Like
mhm,
that's how high my vert got. Like I was physically just a monster by the end of that
mhm.
summer. And you know, all the credit, you know, big credit to him because, you know, he really, inspired me to take my fitness extremely seriously and, like, you know, I really saw how important it was for my game and how it could take me to the next level.
And that's one thing that I really noticed when I saw you. I remember seeing you at Carleton University. I think it was some sort of game. I don't remember, but I saw you walking across the sideline and I was in the stands and I said, I know that's not Kim. Like, there's no
Mhm.
way that Kim. Like,
Yeah.
that's like a new person walking across. Like, you were like diesel. Like you were ripped, you're shredded. And there was like a total body transformation. Was there a mental transformation as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there was a belief. There was, like, a complete I almost didn't see the strength and conditioning side as, like, a chore or, like, torture anymore. I just
Hmm,
kinda saw it as, like, a tool or, like, a means to an end. And I actually started to enjoy it, you know? The better like, the stronger I got, the more fit I got, the more I started to enjoy it, and it was actually starting to feel good, you know? So,
mhm, mhm.
I think that was, like, the turn for me physically, like, just kinda yeah, like, just buying into the pain and the work and accepting it.
Mhm. So now you're finishing up your 11th year playing professional basketball. You've played all over the world. You've done France, Germany, Romania, UAE, Indonesia, and I'm probably missing a couple. Now you're in Australia. What is the secret to your longevity? Because a lot of people, like I know myself, I only played 3 years. I mean, my body was still fit, but I was like, man, this is a grind.
Mhm.
You're now
Yeah.
11 years in. How are you sustaining?
I think that for me, like, I genuinely love the game and, like, I really believe that there's no better job. Like honestly, like, what would you rather be doing other than, like, hooping for a living, traveling, you know? Like, there's
Mhm.
no better job. Like, the job market is tough out there, you know? Like, the 9 to 5, it's insane. I actually, like, took 1 year off a couple years ago, and, like, I hated it. I was like, "Damn, like, I could be hooping right now," you know? So, I just yeah, honestly, like, for me, it's like I really don't feel like the grass is greener.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna try to keep it going for as long as I can, and I know
Mhm.
that to do that, I have to take care of my body. I gotta do
Mhm.
the ISOs, I gotta do the mobility, I gotta get in the gym,
Mhm.
and as long as I can continue to do that and perform and produce for my teams, then
Mhm.
I'll try to keep it going.
And so you were born in Canada, but you hold an Indonesian passport now. You
Yeah.
never wore the red and white for Canada, but you did wear the red and white for Indonesia. Talk about the process of becoming a naturalized citizen there and leading them to their first gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games. Talk about that process and how you became a naturalized citizen.
So, I think I was, like, 25 at the time, or 26 when I got the call from Indonesia, and at
Mhm.
that point in time, I knew that, like, okay, like, I'm 25, 26. Team Canada's not gonna be calling, like, it's not gonna happen, you know, and I still have all this eligibility, so why not
Mhm.
use it towards something? And
Mhm.
I had gotten a call from Indonesia, and I had played in Germany for 3 years, and I was like, "Alright, like, I'm just ready for something different." So, I got the call, and I thought on it all summer, I prayed on it, and, you know, it just kinda stuck with me, and I felt like God was, like, guiding my hand, and so I decided to do it, and honestly, it was a great decision, like, great for my career and great for my exposure,
Mhm.
for my longevity, you know, just being able to play at a high level, playing against, like, some of the best people, some of the best athletes in the world,
Mhm.
some of the best teams in the world, and, like, seeing where
Mhm.
I measure up and, like yeah, it's really cool to see that, like, yeah, you know, like, I can play at this level, I can play against these people, and, you know, I'm just as good, if not better, and
Mhm.
I'm really appreciative for, Team Indonesia and how welcoming they've been to me, and they've
Mhm.
been like a family to me, and they've been so welcoming, and the culture is just so amazing over there, and, you know, I'm really thankful to Chris and Shirley who are they're the benefactors for Team Indonesia, like, they've been you know, they've been the sole reason that I've been coming over year after
Mhm.
year 'cause
Mhm.
they've just taken such good care of me and my family,
Right.
so it's just been like yeah, it's just been such a blessing in my life, and I wanna be a blessing to them as well and perform how I can,
Mhm.
and it's been cool. We've been able to win some, gold medals, you know, we won a few gold medals, a few silver, some bronze, you know, we've been able to bring up some hardware and bring exposure to Team Indonesia and build the program up, so, yeah,
Mhm.
honestly, like, yeah, it's been great.
And so now you're in Australia, and what is the league like? It's the NBL, correct?
Yeah, MBL one.
So NBL 1, what's the comparison in terms of the D1 level where you're playing previously in Indonesia? Like, kinda gauge the levels of play. Is it harder, faster, more physical? Like, what does that look like?
I would say that, like, it's the level here is pretty good, they have some girls that, like, are probably, like, just in their off season of, like, WNBA or
Mhm.
WNBL come through and, like, they'll just play a couple of games.
Mhm.
So we had, like, last night or the other night, Saturday night, we had a game against Rockingham, and they had Sammy Whitcomb on the bench. You know, she didn't play, but, you know, she could've, you know, and
Mhm.
then, like, we one of the teams in our conference actually I forget the name of the team, but they had Annalie Maley
Mhm.
who scored 65 points,
Cool.
a few weeks ago, and then now she's over in New York, or she was in New York and now is going to Phoenix Mercury, so, yeah, I mean, the level gets pretty high, but then it also kinda drops off a little bit towards, like, the bottom of the ladder, so you have, like, a
Mhm.
good mix, so it's pretty cool for me, like, because I get to on the team that I'm playing for, I get to play more of, like, a 3-4 spot.
Mhm.
We have, like we have like a 6'5" center, so I'm not like playing like the post player center
Mhm,
position. Here, I get more freedom, I get more face ups, I dribble the ball a lot more.
mhm.
So it's really cool to like kind of develop my game and like get more of like my mid range game going. So honestly, it's been cool. It's been a cool experience for me because like I feel like I'm playing more truer to like my real position of like a 3-4 and like not more of like a 4-5.
Yeah, and from my known your game, you've always been that undersized 5. Because you're so strong and aggressive and you take it to the basket, you finish left, you finish right. But every summer that I've seen you and, we worked together a little bit on your long distance shooting and your middies and your handles. Talk about that evolution from working on your mid-range to long distance game and then getting stuck back in the post because that's what the team requires. Like, how do you make that work? Because I think naturally you are a 3-4, but, circumstances, throw you back into the 5. Like, talk about that transition. You just did a little bit and the freedom that you get, like, but that's not an easy transition. It's unless you put that work in.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to like my pro teams, whenever we're doing individual workouts, we're always being thrown in with the bigs, and we're doing post moves, we're doing more of like 4 or 5 position skill work. So I think it's been really, just being able to see you every summer and whenever we get together and working on my handles, working on my more of my guard skills and my mid range and my 3-point shooting. Honestly, it almost feels like it's preparing me for the position I'm in right now. I'm able to
Mhm.
play more of like a 3-4 and show what I got in that position. And yeah, it's unfortunate because like I've had to like do all of that on my own time. Like
Mhm, mhm,
but I just just loving the game and loving the work and being able to be a threat everywhere has kind of driven me and motivated me to even have like skills that can translate to other positions. So I've been really
mhm.
thankful for it. And yeah, it's just a testament to like what you need to do overseas, what you need to do to be adaptable in different environments and different situations.
You talked a little bit about your faith and that, you prayed on the decisions that, to become a naturalized citizen. How strong is your faith in terms of what guides you to obviously the success you've had? Is that kind of your base and that's what all things kind of stem from that?
Yeah, I think that I feel like God has definitely guided me and protected me and put me in situations where I could feel safe, where I could feel, good because it's not always. I've heard a lot of horror stories. There's
Mhm,
you go overseas and it's not always the best situation. Sometimes you don't get paid. Like people are having like nightmare situations, and honestly, like my career and experiences have been for the most part pretty positive.
mhm,
I've always been paid. I've always felt safe, and I've always been put in a position where I can have a good impact and impact people in the right ways. So
mhm,
yeah, I think that's God. Like it's like you could call it luck, but you ask God for Him to guide you, and He'll put you in good situations. So I just
mhm.
kind of make sure that I'm grateful, that I show gratitude, and I thank Him, and that I'm living in a way that like honors and benefit from the blessings for sure.
Mhm. So far too often, players like yourself at the top of their games, which you are now internationally, they fail to get the recognition back home in their home country, like Canada, and sometimes in their own city. With Toronto Tempo starting, played their first home game last week and players getting some, crazy national love and, in the US and here in Canada, it's a wave now. Talk about the growth of the women's game because you've been at it for a minute. And what has changed in your view uh about women's basketball and women's sports in general?
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting the recognition that we have deserved for a very long time. We're getting more exposure, more money is being funneled into the sport, so it's great. I think that for me, like, I think it's so cool to see that like the Canadian game is being recognized and that we have a team. Like, it's so sick. It's so cool. Like, I can't wait to go home and like catch a game for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like we could definitely be doing more, as a country for basketball, like more development, more we could even have our own league, you know, like, that'd
Mhm,
be
mhm,
really cool for me as a Canadian who has to, like, travel all over the world, you know, it'd be cool if,
mhm,
like, Canada had its own basketball league, so I could be at home and I could play and I could live this life. You know, I've seen
uh-huh,
so many of my teammates in other countries have this type of life, but they're at home, you know, they're with their
right,
families, so,
mhm.
yeah, it could be better.
But we gonna work on it. I mean, we're gonna do our part. I know I'm gonna try to do
Yeah.
my part, and I know you've always willing to give back and come in and talk to the girls and talk to some of the kids at camps, stuff like that. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate you taking the time. I know you just ran back from a workout, but thanks for making the time to talk to us.
Yeah, I appreciate you and thank you, and, yeah, I'm happy to see, you know, this help side thing growing, and, yeah, I can't wait to get home and, see you and, get that work in.
Absolutely. So we'll talk soon, Kim. Best of luck and keep working hard, okay?
Thank you.